The world is moving so fast that you barely have a second to think about why you're always stuck in the same place. We've all had those moments in life where it feels like we're walking through total darkness. Maybe it's happened to you, you thought you knew everything, but that's exactly when you tripped and fell. Psychological research shows that 90% of our decisions are based on the illusion of knowledge, not reality. This means you think you're picking the best path, but in reality, you're just spinning in a circle. Imagine you're driving down a foggy road and your headlights are turned off. The faster you go, the more likely you are to crash into a valley. The problem is that we've gotten used to moving forward by relying on our own mental guesses. When you don't know what's going on in the world around you, you're just picking your path blindly. That sense of stress and pressure you're always carrying is just because you're lacking awareness of the truth. Have you ever asked yourself why other people can be at peace but you can't? The answer is simple. They're likely seeing the deeper layers of events that you're missing out on. Statistics say that people with deeper knowledge have up to 60% less stress than others. This means that when you know the truth, your fear turns into power. Think of that successful entrepreneur who changed his strategy just when everyone thought he was going bankrupt. He knew one thing that others were oblivious to. He could see the hidden truth of the market. Now imagine what would happen if you had that same sharp perspective in your relationships, your work, and your personal life. Have you ever thought about how many of your life's troubles are just because you're ignoring the facts? Maybe it's time to ask yourself what it is you're deliberately choosing to ignore. Thinking you know everything is the biggest obstacle to becoming aware. Remember that the truth is always hidden beneath layers of fear and judgment. When you want to know what's really going on, you have to set your ego aside first. A lot of people prefer to be comfortable in their own ignorance rather than face a bitter truth. But a bitter truth is better than a sweet lie that's leading you to destruction. You're listening to this right now because a part of you is thirsty for understanding. That part of you is tired of constantly hitting closed doors. You just need to let the light of awareness shine into the dark corners of your mind. Watch how things that used to seem scary suddenly become completely simple. Why are we so afraid to change our perspective anyway? Maybe it's because we think if we accept the truth, we lose control of our lives. But actually, it's the opposite. True power starts exactly here. The more you know, the less you judge, and the more you understand. This means complete freedom from the chains you've built for yourself. Are you ready to dive into those deeper layers you haven't seen yet? Just promise to be honest with yourself along this journey. Awareness is only for someone who has the courage to face themselves. So take a deep breath right now and get ready. You're about to realize things that will change your life completely. The path to wisdom is right here. You just need to change how you look at things. # breaking the cycle. Now, let's see how this lack of awareness is dragging down the quality of your life moment by moment. We all have a weird habit where, when we face a problem, we look for someone to blame instead of finding the root cause. Your behavior is exactly like putting a bandage on a deep wound and expecting it to heal. When you don't see the truth of your situation, you're running through a minefield with your eyes closed. Most people think they just need to work hard to succeed, but they have no idea what direction they're putting that effort into. Think about it. You're rowing with all your might, but your boat is stuck in the middle of a stagnant swamp. The more you struggle, the more you get stuck in the mud, and the more exhausted you become. What's missing here is awareness of the path, seeing the truth that shows you the right direction. Many behavioral experts say that most major failures happen not because of a lack of skill, but because of a lack of a clear view. When you're oblivious to the reality of your surroundings, you subconsciously repeat the mistakes that hurt you before. This is that same vicious cycle that never seems to end, keeping you under constant psychological pressure. Have you ever felt how much mental energy you waste on analyzing daily events the wrong way? A wise person pauses for a moment before reacting to see what the hidden truth of the situation is. That short pause is exactly what makes the difference between an average person and a superior human. If you learn to take that pause, you won't be a prisoner of your impulsive emotional waves anymore. We take the biggest hits when we think we know everything about everyone else. Thinking you know the intentions behind someone else's behavior is the biggest illusion your mind can build for you. The truth is, we sometimes don't even know our own true intentions, let alone someone else's. This same illusion of knowledge is what turns our close relationships into minefields of misunderstanding. Most of the arguments in the world happen just because of this failure to understand the other person's reality. Are you willing to step down from your position just once and look at things more realistically? When your view opens up, you'll see that many of those you thought were your enemies are just struggling with their own pain. This fresh perspective is your golden key to getting free from the anger and grudges you've been carrying for years. Life is actually much simpler than you think. If you only see the facts as they are, you don't have to control everything. You just need to understand the truth to make the right choice. When you're aware of the truth, you no longer need to yell and scream to prove yourself to anyone. The deep peace that settles in you is the greatest sign that you've reached inner wisdom. Everyone who judges you for your mistakes is still stuck in their own darkness. So why should you let their judgment affect how you look at the truth of your life? Remember, you're not supposed to be the judge of the whole world. You're just supposed to be the master of your own inner world. Deep awareness means realizing that every event is a lesson pushing you toward higher levels of evolution. So instead of running from reality, face it bravely and pull the truth out of it. See how every time you see the truth, another one of the knots in your mind comes undone. This is exactly the process that prepares you for the big changes in your life. It's time to turn on the dead light in your mind with the power of awareness. The right path you are looking for has always been under your feet, you just didn't see it. The more you think about these simple facts, the clearer your vision becomes. Now that you're getting close to the core of the issue, let your heart join your mind. This is just the start of a massive awareness that's going to cover every aspect of your life. Are you ready to take action for the final practical phase of this big change? Putting insight into action. Now it's time to turn what you've learned into a tangible change in your daily life. The biggest human error is thinking that knowing the theory is enough and that everything will just change on its own. Real change starts when you can apply deep awareness into the tiniest details of your behavior. To evolve from an average person into a superior human, you have to start observing right now. This is a mental exercise that teaches you how to look at events like an unbiased observer. Every day when you wake up, just take 10 minutes to sit in silence and think about what's going to change in your life. If you're stuck in traffic or someone says something mean, instead of your usual reaction, just be the witness. Ask yourself what truth this event is showing me about my growth that I haven't seen until now. This means you're using the power of wisdom to master your own immediate emotions. True knowledge isn't just what you read in books, it's what you've actually used in practice. Take one small step every day, like really trying to understand what others are saying when they talk. Without interrupting or wanting to answer right away, just understand the truth behind their words. This simple practice takes your inner frequency to a place many people only dream of. When you do this for 40 days in a row, your nervous system will get used to awareness. You won't need to force it anymore, because seeing the truth will become as natural and easy as breathing. This change in behavior won't just change your life. The people around you will notice this inner power too. A wise person is always calm, because they know the truth of every situation is exactly where it needs to be. Think how light you'll feel when you don't have to carry the heavy load of wrong judgments anymore. This is the true freedom that many people are dying to reach, but they don't know where to start. You're finding the right address now, and that's incredibly valuable. Every time you choose consciously, you're putting another piece of the superior human puzzle in its place. Take this 40-day journey seriously, because it's going to rewire your brain's neural pathways forever. Over time, you'll see how new ideas, fresh opportunities, and better relationships start flowing toward you. All of this is because of your shift in perspective and your connection to the truth. Now that you know this, there's no more excuse for staying stuck. You just need to act a little more consciously every day than you did the day before. This small effort will eventually lead to massive results that will transform your life. I hope these words touch your heart and you take the first step today. Thank you for being part of this deep conversation and giving yourself the chance to grow. This is the start of a big change for you, and I'm so happy to be part of this journey. Remember that this trip has just begun, and there are still many stairs to climb. Start the observer exercise today and watch how the world takes on a whole new color. Take these steps of change one by one and always remember that the truth is what saves you. If you've been with me until here, I invite you to keep going to the very end. Start from this first episode and let this 100-part awareness take root inside you. Each of these will complete a part of you that was unknown until now. Value these moments because you're working on the most beautiful project of your life, yourself. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next stage so we can go even deeper together. Be at peace and with an open and truth-seeking view, take your big steps.